Hello everyone, this is Hopespoir with another World of Warships commentary, once again featuring the Conqueror. There is a fairly specific reason that I chose this Conqueror game, and that is because I can make some pretty good comments on ammo choice for the Conqueror between HE and AP here, including some times where I probably selected the wrong ammo, and just how close you can drive this ship if you do it properly. Basically cruiser distances to the action, and also if you look at the mini-map, because our division and only our division is starting at B cap, I can make some good commentary on, good division positioning and good division play. It doesn't necessarily have to be a division, it can be just like randoms that happen to have like a good sense of the ships around them, and they may kind of keep these things in mind as well, and you'll be able to recognize that with randoms kind of just by watching how they're playing, whether they are aware of these things or not. So all the ships at A are going to A, all the ships at C are going to C, so that leaves us three starting in the middle. Absol has announced his intention to take a look at B. I'm going to drive right in, which I love to do with the Conqueror, and support him. If you look at the detection range on the mini-map, you can see that my detection range is a very cruiser-like 11.8. It's actually better than a lot of cruisers. That's a tier 10, which is actually kind of ridiculous. I'm almost up to speed now. I'm at 29.3 knots, I believe. My ship will reach 29.5 or 30 knots, which once again is almost cruiser-like speed. And the turning circle on this ship and rudder shifts are actually almost cruiser-like as well. Well, probably better than some cruisers like the Moskva or so you can really play the Conqueror very much like a large cruiser. It's much more survivable than cruisers. So why not play it close? When you play it up close like that, it allows you to be much more consistent and with your guns, and especially with Conqueror guns, which are not always the most reliable. Now, at these ranges, I'm going to comment that I've pre-selected AP, and HE, at around 20 kilometers, HE, I can easily forgive you for choosing HE, and a lot of times you might want to choose HE. It's actually possibly the better ammo to choose at this range, probably more consistent. You can see that the Richelieu actually turned in a bit, and he managed to bounce all my shells. I didn't do anything. And if I had been firing HE, I might have gotten like a fire, maybe even two fires, maybe possibly 5,000 to 10,000 damage, something like that. So I have another video of the Conqueror which I might upload at these ranges. I'm shooting HE, and I do kind of more damage, but occasionally you land these really large volleys with AP. And partially, for example, if that Moskva that you see, if he was actually visible and I fired AP at him, there's a possibility that I could almost outright delete him. And that's partly why I choose AP, but it's a little back and forth. So I'll often kind of look at the ships and the possible shots that I might get, and then I'll choose which one to choose at these ranges. Once again, 9,000, not too bad, but I could have done that with HE as well, probably. So I'm fairly comfortable staying at this range to B, even though the enemy is capping B. Because if you look at the positioning of Absol, it's actually brilliant positioning right now. Even though he's not attempting to cap it, he's staying between me and the cap. He's on the outskirts of B. And this is exactly why. You can see torpedoes coming. He's spotting torpedoes. He's going to spot torpedoes, he's going to spot any destroyers coming towards me. I'm going to get warning of that. So I'm completely comfortable just staying at this range, driving in. You can see I'm still closing distance to the enemy ships here because he's there. So right now I'm conscientious of the fact that Absol is capping B and he's fairly deep in there. I'm keeping an eye on that. Now, if I was firing HE, this would not occur. Look at that volley. 20,000, well, 19,000 volley on that Conqueror. I do admit, obviously, I'm now a couple kilometers closer than I was before, but 20,000 volley is not going to happen with HE. Okay, so the Z does get spotted. He's got a lot of health. Absol's already taking a little bit of health. So even though I have really good shots on battleships in front of me, I'm going to help him out. I break one of the turrets and do 4,000. That's going to help him a lot. He's also getting help from the Salem, which is good. But that's going to, you know, it's just going to make his life much more comfortable if I put those shots on him. Just like he made my life more comfortable before in being close, I'm going to make his life more comfortable by helping him with the Destroyer. Instead of putting these shots out here. And I've got a nice, you know, I've got these nice broadside battleships here. I could have farmed damage, but, you know, responsibly I should shoot at the DD. See, there you go. There's a 28,000 volley. I might have been able to have had another one of those if I'd chosen these targets earlier. But, like I always say, you should really shoot at the DDs anytime you have a reasonable shot on them. It's going to make not only his life easier, but it's going to make my life easier in the future as well. You know, if somehow he got killed, that would make my life much better. So I'm really close here. There's 4 battleships right in front of me. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm farming a lot of damage. I'm kind of thinking, oh, as long as I'm doing more damage than I'm taking here, I'll be happy. And I definitely am doing more damage than I'm taking. Now, I chose a very opportune time to do this turn. The way I did this was a mixture of the cover, the islands were limiting which battleships, enemy battleships could shoot at me when I would be sideways, and also timing, obviously, between the shots. So the Musashi had already shot at me. I'm most afraid of him when I did my turn, and I was getting partial cover from the island. So I fired 2 of my volley, so I was 2 of my turrets against the Bismarck, and I've got 2 against this really nice 9-kilometer Musashi. Looks really good. 4 Citadels, 52,000. I wish I had my other 2 turrets ready. Now I really should, now this is a mistake, I really should have fired at him again here. And then the Bismarck's reappearing, again I should fire at him. What kind of happened here was I just got kind of worried. You know, there's 4 battleships alive at close range. If you look at the mini map, look how forward I am. I just got a little nervous. I got a little too nervous. I should have really fired again at the Musashi, and if not the Musashi, then at least the Bismarck there. But I was like, oh, I was kind of thinking, I have to get undetected. I'm going to have to be engaging the Richelieu and the Conqueror soon anyway, and possibly the Moskva as well. I want to get safe for a second. Which I guess was okay thinking. Of course, I'm calling for the shots on the Hergruma there. I want him dead. But, you know, looking at this now, I definitely should have shot at the Musashi again and or the Bismarck. I might have had time to shoot at both of them. Probably could have finished off the Musashi and done a lot of damage too. And here, once again, I'm kind of questionable target selection. But I'm thinking that, you know, the Moskva's got radar. He's probably preventing our Z-52 from getting any closer right now. If I could kind of hurt or help kill the Moskva, then that would give our Z some freedom. But I probably should have shot at one of the battleships. But see how angled they are? Don't know if I could have done much more to them anyways. At this point, I'm already thinking I should be changing my ammo because the Conqueror, the Moskva, and the Richelieu are also bound to me, but I've already got it loaded. Hell, you know, let's just shoot it. I might get reasonable damage from it. Time to repair again. Look at this, I'm returning to my ship again. So yes, I have taken damage, but look at how, you know, I've kind of distracted the enemy. I've taken so much enemy focus. So it's given my team a lot of freedom to operate because of how much focus I've gotten, which is fantastic. It's always good to tank for your team. And if you're a battleship and you're not tanking for your team, then who do you think the enemy's shooting at? Your cruisers, maybe your destroyers. I mean, they're going to shoot at your destroyers anyway, but, you know, your cruisers, that's not good. If the enemies are, especially the enemy battleships, are focusing on your cruisers, you're not going to win many games. You have to, as a battleship, you have to take focus. And like I've taken a lot of damage. Yeah, so I've changed to HE now. I'm shooting. Okay, so I know I'm reaching the edge of the map here. And because I'm a little scared of the Conqueror, the Richelieu, even the Moskva here, who just died, I'm actually going to be slightly cheap here, and I'm not going to board or hump, but I'm going to use the border to do my turn. Okay, so there's, you can see I was trying to decide between the Richelieu and the Conqueror there. The Richelieu didn't damn-con his fire, so I was like, oh, I'm going to let that burn. The Conqueror's nice and broadside. See if I can get a fire on him. Maybe I can get some decent damage as well from my HE. I fired it a little low and put most of it into his belt, but at least I got a fire. So I've got 2 fires burning now, one on the Conqueror and one on the Richelieu. Obviously, I immediately switched to AP for the Conqueror because of how sideways he was. So after that HE volley, I just selected AP, and I just did, what was that, like 15,000 roughly damage because of that ammo change. So choosing the correct ammo is extremely important. There were definitely a couple times here where I chose possibly the wrong ammo or I changed a little late, but that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to kind of make a conscious effort to try to choose the right one, and it will pay off. You see, I did change there, and it definitely paid off. You know, you're occasionally going to shoot the wrong ammo. You're going to have the wrong one loaded. Just shoot it, you know? Like, I shot AP at the Destroyer, I shot AP at the bow on Richelieu. Okay, back to HE, obviously, for the bow on Richelieu. I didn't get a chance to kill him off, but I'm pretty sure I would have. Okay, so that puts me up to 221,000 damage. You can see just the way that I drove that, right? I drove in very close to B. And I was allowed to do that because Absol in the DD provided a screen for me, even when he didn't have anything to shoot at. He still stayed there. You know, he didn't have anything to torpedo, didn't have anything to shoot at, he couldn't farm any damage, but he stayed there so that I could stay there. And in doing so, at that range, allowing me to close the distance allowed me to be in a position to do all that massive damage to the enemy with AP. Both obviously before he engaged Z and especially after he engaged Z, I was in a perfect position to do all the damage to those battleships. Just absolutely devastate them with AP volleys. And also by staying at that range and allowing me to be that close, when he finally did spot the Z, I was in a range to help him. Right, I was close enough that I could reliably hit that Z and take out one of his turrets and do another 4,000, which, you know, was very helpful to him as well. So just because he doesn't at that moment have anything to shoot at or, you know, to farm damage doesn't mean that he should just leave that cap, or, you know, even he wasn't comfortable entering B for a while. He still didn't just feel, oh, you know, I'm going to see where I can farm damage and I'm just going to drive off. By staying there, it allowed me to do all that damage. It allowed him to eventually engage the Z and have my help, and then obviously cap B afterwards. So that was fantastic play there, and obviously allowing me to stay that close. After that, after dealing with the Z, I was just able to sail at that close range from B over here to A, and just engage all the ships that I did at this close range, using mostly, you know, obviously choosing the correct ammo, using a lot of AP. And this is really the best way to play the Conqueror. Staying at long range and shooting HE, you may farm more damage, but I really think that this is the more effective way to do it. Obviously, by doing this, I also applied a tremendous amount of pressure on the enemy ships that were here, which gave a lot more freedom to our cruisers as well. So instead of them just being relaxed and comfortable and just farming damage off our cruisers, maybe killing them all and then running over our team, you know, they had to be aware that I was there, you know, at this close range and doing a lot of damage, making them uncomfortable. I really think that this was a good demonstration of how the Conqueror should be played, especially in a division, you know, where your division mates, in this case Absol, allows me to play at this range, and you know, just helping each other out. And I'm not going to play the rest of this game now because basically we just kind of wait for this to end. So let's go take a look at the results. Okay, so just a quick look at the results here. You can see 79 hits, 221,000 damage, 4 fires only with 5 citadels. Probably could have had more fires, should have had more fires if I fired more HE at the beginning of the game. We had a lot of ships with good amount of XP, so there was a good team effort there. You can see a lot of damage to the battleships, obviously. Most of it was AP, which is fantastic. That Musashi with only 11 hits for 80,000. Also, good damage to the Z, right? 4,000, but also importantly, breaking one of the turrets, which helped Absol a lot. All right, thanks for watching, and this is Hopespoir. Hope to see you again. Goodbye now.
So Hops,